Hey, my name's Anthony.
My name's Alex.
And we are
The PTA Podcast.
What's happening, everybody? Thank you for tuning in for another episode of the PTA Podcast.
Thank you.
Don't forget, before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify. Alrighty. Magic round.
Bro, that was the worst Magic round I've ever watched.
Look, to be fair, I only watched the Bulldogs game. I didn't watch the rest. I watched snippets of the Panthers game because I wanted to watch Cleary play, but I was surprised that St. George played better than I thought they were going to play.
They had a lot of effort in that game, eh?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Straight out, they should actually be proud of themselves.
Mm.
I know they're in probably they're in the first early stages of a rebuild at the moment, and yeah, they actually did really well for, you know, the players that they have with the experience that they have, and fuck, bro, you're going up against the juggernauts in the NRL being the Panthers, so.
Yeah, I would have loved Dragons to win just for...
you know what? I honestly believe the game would have been very different if that try just before halftime that Damien Cook scored was caught. Bro, it was a try. Like, come on.
He didn't kick it out of his hand.
But
his fingers just touched
you know
it.
my thing, bro? It's rugby league. If you're about to grab the ball and I kick it out of your hand because I'm smart enough to kick it out of your hand, what's the big deal?
But you know the rules around that.
But why is that a rule?
Because...
So I can speed tackle you and break your rib, but I can't kick a ball out of your hand.
But you got to understand, what's the chances of you speed tackling me and breaking my rib?
A lot higher than me kicking the ball out of your hand.
Kicking the ball out of hands and causing some actual damage.
A lot, but what's the difference though?
A big difference.
How's it a big difference?
You're kicking the ball at somebody and the head's there, the face is there. What if you miss the ball
No.
completely?
If I kick the ball and your head's 100%, that was a penalty 5 years ago that happened with Latrell Mitchell.
That's the whole
But
thing.
if you've gone to pick up the ball and simultaneously I've kicked the ball out of your hand,
that exact...
that's what I'm trying to say.
That's not...
That's what I'm trying to say.
At all.
If they slowed it down to like the slowest frame possible, Brian To'o barely even had his fingers around the ball
They
before
just touched it. They just had touched it, so they were on it. They went around it. He had
But
to
that's
actually
what I
grab
mean.
the ball, yeah.
I understand that the rules are there and rules are rules, but I truly believe that context and logic needs to be applied to some of these rules.
This is why...
It does open it up for grey areas, I get it, but that's rugby league.
But this is why I really don't like watching rugby league anymore. That because the Bulldogs.
100%.
But I just can't. I don't like watching the sport.
Like there was a penalty given to a player called Latu Fainu, right? That they said that the ref on field said that he stripped the ball. They challenged it. The bunker reviewed it. There was no stripping action at all. His hand stayed in place. His arm didn't pull the ball out. Nothing like that. Every angle showed that the Manly guy clearly just lost the ball. But what does the bunker say? There's inconclusive evidence. What do you mean? A strip is when you see someone's arm pull the ball out. If there was no arm pulling the ball out, the arm stayed on the player. There was no other movement from that tackler's arm at all, and the ball just fell out by itself. How can you say there's inconclusive evidence?
Maybe because of the fact that his hand was on the ball as he lost the ball.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I don't know. I didn't see it.
It was on his arm.
I don't know.
So what I'm trying to say
is in the bunker as well. Sometimes those idiots in the bunker are fried.
But so this is what I'm trying to say.
Fried.
These rules are now disrupting the game. If Damien Cook scores that try, it's 12-6 half time. It's a very different ball game for the Dragons. They go into the second half with momentum, with confidence, but we're only one try away from leveling up against Penrith. It's a different mindset, different ball game.
What was the final score?
28-6.
Yeah, okay. Because I stopped watching it when it was 18-6.
It was 28-6.
Yeah.
Penrith just ran away with the game, but what people need to understand is that rugby league is a game of momentum. Especially now with all these new rules coming out, and pretty much if you get 1-6 again call, that's it, you've lost the game, because you're going to be starved of the ball for the next 15 to 20 minutes. You can't defend 20 minutes straight. No team can.
It's hard.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. It was a very, very weird Magic round. The scores are now being blown out like crazy. They're one-sided games. People are like, I'll tell you this, right? The NRL and Peter V'landys were going crazy at the fact that all 3 days of Magic round was sold out. Yeah? But if you watch the games, actually, barely half the stadium is full. Why? Because people were leaving. People were leaving because they were getting sick and tired of watching a game that's just a one-sided game.
So you're telling me that they had bought tickets
and people were leaving. Watch the games
I
back.
watched the Sunday game and there was barely anybody there.
But they were sold out.
So
why?
you telling me that they had left?
100%.
Weekend left.
If a game is sold out, but then you look at the stadium and there's only half the people there halfway through the game, what do you...
What do you mean halfway through the game? At the start of the first game on Sunday, half the stadium was full.
But it was sold out.
Are you sure it was sold out?
Yeah,
Just saying that.
no, it was sold out. You couldn't get a ticket.
Wow.
For either day, you couldn't get a
You
ticket.
reckon the weather turned people off maybe?
No way, bro. It rained for 2 games out of the 7 or 8 that were played.
Yeah, there you go. I don't know, man.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
just also surprised that Dolphins did a number on South Sydney.
Again, bro, 6 again. Bro, the South Sydney was starved for almost 25 minutes of the ball.
Yeah, but they did a full number on him, bro.
Why do you think?
The Mitchell had the quietest game ever. He
Bulging
did one good.
He shouldn't have played, bro. He had a bulging disc the whole game in his lower back.
Really? Yeah.
He could barely run.
So why they put him on then?
He thought it'd be okay because they needled him. Like
Are
10
you
minutes into
stupid?
the game, it just...
He's
You know,
stupid,
nerves.
bro. It's a bulging disc, man.
No needle's going to numb a bulging disc.
Oh my gosh, these
Yeah.
sports videos are idiots.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just a very, very weird round. I feel like the rules are actually killing the game a lot. I feel like the NRL are actually, I don't know. Part of me thinks they're making up these numbers with viewership and whatnot. Because you look on social media and every single person is like, I fucking hate watching the game. People are turning off the game 20 minutes in because the moment one side gets all this momentum, you know, it's a game over. You can't get that back.
So you know what it is, cuz? It's not even about that. Well, I don't mind watching one team dominate another team if they're better. I don't care about that. What I just don't like watching is poor refereeing that ruins the game.
But that's what I mean. So, for example,
these rules, like, I used to love watching NRL when it was like barely any penalties and the ref would just let the game go.
yeah.
Right now, when there's a game with minimal penalties, it's such a good game to watch.
But think about it from
Right.
this point of view, right? What are these 6 agains? They're just penalties on the fly. But the reason why they're called a 6 again is just to keep the game going. So you get a 6 again for a ruck infringement. What does that mean?
Well, he's trying to start to play the ball down. And he's
No, but what does it mean though? What have you done?
What do you mean?
So what have I done in the eyes of the
referee?
ref to slow the play the ball down?
Who knows?
Exactly, that's the whole point.
Well,
so then how are you
well,
supposed to fix it?
Well, it's true, but the thing is, they're calling it ruck infringement because they're either trying to slow the play the ball down.
So you're
or
slowing the play the ball
It's
down.
either that because he would otherwise give a penalty, stop, kick for touch, start again, boom.
But is it? But that's what everyone's. All the players now are asking. What they're asking is it is it relevant to the referee based on how they deem slowing the play the ball down? So, for example, the average ruck speed last year was 3.8 seconds, right? Now it's like I think 3.2 or 3.3 seconds. So that 0.4 to 5 of a millisecond. So that 0.4 to 5 of a second, right? What in your eyes, referee, do you deem slow or not slow? Because you're saying ruck infringement, but then you don't have an opportunity to sit there and tell the player, hey, don't do this again. Because the play is just going. So players are there going, well, fuck, if I don't slow it down, but these guys are going to put on 50 points in the space of 20 minutes. But then I'm slowing it down, and by the 20-minute mark of the first half, I've made already 30 tackles.
But really,
I'm gassed.
you're allowed up to 5 seconds. You are.
Well, technically.
Well, when we were playing, and it's probably changed now, but when we were playing, you were allowed up to 5 seconds
Yeah.
to hold him down, to slow the play the ball down.
Yeah.
Right? Even then, we were taught 4 seconds just to be safe.
Yeah.
Right? So I have no idea why they're trying to make it now. Say, for example, when I was playing when I was 16, so 10 years ago, fuck me, 20 years ago, oh my gosh. 20 years ago when I was 14, 15 playing, I just feel so old then.
Badly.
We were taught, hey, you got up to 5 seconds, but play it safe and do 4. Right? So I'm holding the guy down, I'm counting in my head, 1, 2, holding down 3,
Yep.
4, and then up 4 seconds, my team has got set on 10 minutes back and they're in line with the ref and they're good to go again.
Yep.
I don't know, bro. I don't know.
I don't
feel
know,
like
man.
I personally don't like watching rugby league anymore. I don't like watching rugby union anymore. I don't like watching. The only sport I like watching really is boxing, but only when it's in Saudi Arabia, when Dana White and that sheikh from Saudi Arabia put an event on. Because even normal boxing now, it's just whoever's got the most money talks, and these guys that duck in fights, they're not true champions in my opinion. And everyone has a go at George Kambosos and Tim Tszyu, but they're taking on anybody and everybody who's standing in front of them. right? They don't give a fuck. They're
big
true
respect
fighters.
to them, eh? Straight out.
They're true fighters, right? I will respect anybody that gets into a ring. Anybody. I will totally lose respect for any fighter who doesn't get in the ring, especially if they're a champion. Don't cherry pick your fights. Fight. Your legacy is so much more important. Your legacy will be so much better if you're known as a fighter who never ducked anybody.
Yeah, straight out.
Right? Mayweather may have the best record on paper.
He ducked a lot of
But
fights.
he ducked a lot of fighters, and he picked and chose when to fight certain people.
Yeah.
Right? Typical example was Manny Pacquiao. When that fight happened, that was 10 years too late. 10 years too late. They should have fought each other when they were in their prime.
Yeah, bro. He was so out of his prime.
The best fighter would have won on that night, and I guarantee it would have been Manny Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Because Mayweather wasn't as sharp, and Pacquiao was 10 times faster than he was in that fight.
Yeah.
I truly believe that he lost that fight against what's his name? Mexican fighter. Oh my gosh, Oscar De La Hoya. Like Mayweather, I truly believe Mayweather lost that fight against Oscar De La Hoya. I think it was a split decision. Should have gone to Oscar De La Hoya. One of his early fights no one really knows about. He lost that fight. He actually lost that fight, and they gave it to him. I don't know why, but then he fought that guy literally in his next fight, and then he pumped him. Not to say Mayweather's not a good fighter, but
You know what fight I'm keen to see coming up? Lemonchenko and Tank.
So that fight,
That's actually
too
going to be
late.
a great.
Sorry,
You reckon it's too late?
Bro, Loma is way too slow.
You reckon? I reckon he still got it.
He's still got it, but Tank Davis is just a fucking. He just ducks his fights, right? They all do. Nobody want to take Lomachenko on. Fucking Kambosos took him on.
Yeah, I know.
Like Kambosos stepped in a ring with the dragon, right? He should have that guy he's got more balls than any of those other guys, right? Because he just gets in. All right, he might lose. Who gives a shit? You go down swinging, bro. He gives a fuck. You're a fighter.
Yeah, it's like
win some, you lose some.
It's like the Garcia Tank fight. Tank needed to pay off one of Garcia's training buddies to tell him that Garcia had an injury, and specifically where the injury was in his ribs. So then Garcia could go in that fight and actually target that rib on purpose.
As in Tank could?
Yeah, that came out. That Tank paid off one of Garcia's teammates.
There you go. There's all this stuff, right? But the thing is, in any sport, there's always some kind of either controversy or there's always some kind of, the word isn't coming to me, but there's always something that just ruins the sport, right?
But anyway, going back to rugby league just quickly, I don't like how the game is being played now, and a lot of people don't like it.
It's actually
I get it.
I don't get excited to watch. When the
I don't get excited to watch it either, bro. Don't get me wrong. Let's be real, right? The first 9 rounds of the season, I'm a West Tigers supporter. We were second on the ladder, but I actually didn't enjoy watching it anyway, because a lot of the games, whether the Tigers were playing or any other team were playing, bro, they were like blowouts. Like actual blowouts, and then you got the rate of injuries now is ridiculous. The best players in the NRL, they're all injured.
Let me ask you a question, totally off topic. This is going to the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Right? As you guys know, I'm a Dogs fan, and they're just I'm so done with them. There was something I saw that Corey Parker had said on one of the sporting shows.
Yeah.
And he was saying, how the hell does 2 players leaving have that much of an impact on the club? Toby Sexton and Reid Money leave. Our 7 and our 9, who are in form and we're in form. We ran 3rd last year, right? At the end of the regular season. How are we 15th now? Are you telling me 2 players had that much of an impact on this club? Bear in mind though, and this is why I truly believe, they were our 7 and our 9. You build a team around a good 7 and 9.
Well, your spine in general, bro.
Right? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I actually believe they did have a massive impact. I don't think it's more so the impact that Corey Parker is alluding to. I think it's more so the cultural impact. Because, alright, I'm not a Dogs fan, but I know well enough that the Bulldogs base, and they've got it pretty much printed on their home ground, the Bulldogs base their culture around loyalty. Right? And Stephen Crichton signed on with you guys because of this picture that Phil Good and Serrato painted for him of it being a family club, right? But then how is it a family club when Phil Good starts moving chess pieces to get what he wants at the club rather than doing what's best for the team? So I think you guys got a cultural issue, to be honest. And I feel like you guys got players there that don't actually want to play for the club anymore because they've seen that it's either Phil Good's way or the highway.
Well, Burton came out today and said, because there was some stuff about him over the weekend, and he came out today and said, no, I'm a Dogs fan, I'm loyal to the Dogs. I bleed with these guys, I train with these guys, I go to war with these guys every week because I'm a Dogs till I die, right? Which I thought was nice for him to say. But at the same time...
But that's the key there, though.
If so many of the boys are like that, which I'm sure they are, right, because they're loyal to each other, doesn't feel good to understand this, and like this is something that you can
but that's the
build
difference.
A good legacy
They're
for
loyal
the club
to
on.
They're loyal to each other. So I'll take it from a Tigers point of view, right? Our players are loyal to each other and Benji Marshall. They're not loyal to the owners of the club, and I'll tell you why. All of our players that have signed on till 2029, 2030, Bulla, the May brothers, Coruscant, they've all signed on to the same time that Benji Marshall finishes his coaching contract.
Yeah.
They're tied to the coach. They're not tied to the owners of the club.
Well, our boys were tied to our coach.
Right.
Now they've lost trust in our coach.
Exactly right. So this is where now, if you really look into what Matt Burton's saying, I'll play for my brothers 100%. But the club, the Bulldogs, as an organisation, you don't got my respect.
I wish we had Todd Greenberg back.
Right? Because think about it, bro. Say me and you, right? Say me and you. We're not brothers. We're just best mates. We're playing in a team, right? And then I'm the 9, you're the 7. Phil Good comes out of nowhere. We're running first on the ladder halfway through the season, right? We've beaten everyone. And then Phil Good taps you on the back and says, you're fucking off and bringing in this young 19-year-old. And then I look at that and go, what the... Bro, I've bled with this bloke for the last 3 years trying to rebuild this club, and you're getting rid of him for a 19-year-old that we don't even have no idea about. And then you get rid of me. And then you start moving players around, and then there's talk about wanting to get rid of Matt Burton, who was there at the very beginning of the rebuild along with Reid Marnie, and they bled for that club, right? And then you got someone like Stephen Crichton, who's come on board and left a 4-time premiership club, right, to be a part of this rebuild. But then you're starting to get rid of all these players around him, and then you're playing players out of position, but then blaming them for doing a shit job when they're playing out of position, aka Haywood, who's a lock 5'8", not a number 9. And then everyone's having a go at him for being a shit hooker.
Well, I commented on that post, right? That post that Corey Parker said, and it was, there was a few other either ex-rugby league players or current rugby league players talking about it, and they were like, look, you can't, yes, they're professional athletes, and you can't say that the whole season's gone to shit because of 2 players, but really...
But it's a domino effect.
It's their 7 and 9. Like, you build a team around a 7 and 9,
100%
right?
you do.
So I commented on that, and I don't really comment on stuff. I just keep scrolling, but I commented and I said, it's not so much about the fact they got rid of Toby Sexton and Haywood. Toby Sexton and Reid Marnie. It was about the fact that how they got rid of them, number 1, but number 2, who they replaced them with. You got rid of our 2 best players and our 2 most consistent players, and they were, right? For a guy who's ever played hooker before in his career, right? Haywood never has. It was either a 5'8" or a roaming lock, and he's fucking great at those positions. And then you got Lachlan Galvin, who played all of his junior career as a lock. He only played a halfback for you guys.
No, he didn't even play halfback for us. He was number 6.
Whatever, but in the halves position for you guys, because there was literally nobody else left to pick, and then somebody that could catch and pass the ball and kick somewhat. And because he played so well, and mind you, he wasn't creating anything, he was just playing off the go for it that you guys had created. I don't know what Phil Good thinks he saw.
I don't either.
Like, he's got one play, bro. He's got one play.
I'll be honest with you, right?
Short ball to Preston.
Ready? I'll be honest with you. So, growing up, there were 3 players. Galvin, Ethan Strange, Latu Fainu, right? Ethan Strange, as we know, is a 5'8" for Canberra. At the time, we had Latu Fainu and Galvin, right? Galvin only got his debut in 2024 because of the fact that Latu Fainu was injured.
I know this. There was nobody else available.
But growing up, Latu Fainu was a 5'8" for New South Wales and Australia in the schoolboys grade and in the under-19s origin. Ethan Strange played centre because they needed to have Ethan Strange in that side. That's how good he was. And Galvin played second row.
There you go.
So it goes to show that Fainu was a better half growing up and is a better half in general than Galvin. Galvin gets his debut first over Fainu because Fainu's injured, and we needed a half because Aiden Caesar was injured.
Yeah, and we had no other choice.
We had no other choice, right? So we played Sullivan and Galvin, right? Don't get me wrong, Galvin was great in that NRL as a 5'8". Awesome, right? But he's not a creator. He's He's not an organizer.
He goes off to go forward.
He's just plays eyes up, off the cuff football, right? As you said, and so you sit there as a Dogs fan. I'm not a Dogs fan, but again, I've said it before. The NRL is doing well when the Bulldogs are playing well because they're the only team that can sell out a stadium of 80,000 people on a Thursday night. No other team can do that, right? Yeah. But then you're playing this kid at 20 years old, and it's not his fault. He's just doing what he's told to do.
You know what's funny though? He's been our best player.
He has been. Don't get me wrong. He's putting so much effort in. But how annoying is it that having this one player at your club has now disrupted the culture of your club? And you got players there that you can see very clearly, bro. Like, they're not there. They're not. Crichton looks pissed off and like just wanting to headbutt a wall. Obviously, all that shit happened at the start of the year with Bronson Cherry. That stuff doesn't just come out of nowhere.
You know they're going to shift Bronson Cherry? We're going to do a player swap?
Yeah, I heard about that with Gold Coast Titans, which is going to be hard, bro. I can't say Cherry wanted to go to the Gold Coast Titans and uproot his whole family just to go there.
Like, what is going on with this club, bro?
But think about it from this point of view.
They starved Cherry of the ball this past weekend. The one time they gave him the ball, he 1-on-1 with his.
He scored straight away.
But he blitzed him, and I'm yelling at the TV, give him the ball more often. Give him every time Gavin went down to the left. Short ball. He fuck around towards the sideline and gave Cherry no room to move. Like, just give the guy early ball.
What I got told with Bronson Cherry and all that stuff that happened at the beginning of the year, because he was the only player that had the balls to actually stand up to Phil Good and Serrato and say, "What the fuck are you guys doing?"
Yeah, no, that's what it was. It wasn't a performance thing.
No, it wasn't. Serrato and Gould got fucking threw the toys in the cart because they had a player stand up to them and pretty much say, "What the fuck are you doing to us in this club?"
The thing with Serrato, he's just as much to blame as Phil Good.
He's a puppet of Gould.
No, it's not even that he's a puppet. He can never be told that he's doing something wrong. This is from the inside. You can't tell this bloke he's doing something wrong. You can't give this guy advice. You can't give this guy any kind of mentoring. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. If he doesn't like what you're saying, bro, you'll be lucky to be there next week.
That's the thing. He keeps saying the same thing on every post-match conference.
Such a fucking idiot. Like, as somebody who I've met in person, right? And he's not a bad person. He's just really doing a shit job with a club that's like, we're a premier club, bro.
And the thing is, you know what gets me as well, bro? Let's face it, your season's done. We know this. Right? You're not making the top 8, your season's done, right?
Bro. No way.
Why not start bleeding your juniors, bro? Start getting your juniors who are actually NRL worthy now, like Jack Underhill, right?
He played pretty good.
The one that looks like James Graham.
He played
amazing.
Played pretty well.
Start getting your juniors in there and start getting them some NRL time so that next year you can actually go into the season next year with a plan. Rather than playing Josh Curran in the second row all the time or in the centres.
I don't think, based off of little like plays like that, I don't think that he really believes that there's any room for change anymore. I think that he feels like he's set with this team and he's going to make the best he can with this team. And he might change the bench every now and then. Like, it doesn't look like he's got a good strategy set in place.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Do you get what I mean? And I think he's finally... I don't know if he'll say this in public or not. He's actually got to admit that the move that they made to get rid of Reed Mahoney and Sexton was
made a mistake.
Very, very bad move.
100%.
Very bad.
But you know what? If they just owned that, I guarantee you, everyone would be like, all right, sweet, you've owned it, so let's just start moving
There was
forward.
a game against the Roosters that we played last year when Sexton was still number 7 and Reed Mahoney was still number 9. There was a game we were playing against the Roosters and we were going nowhere. When I mean nowhere, we were going nowhere. And Sexton and Reed Mahoney combined, they pulled something out of their ass, right, to get us on the scoreboard and then to shift the momentum. And I thought, man, these two guys are such good players, man. Like, why are we getting rid of them? Why are we getting rid of him?
Yeah, how good Sexton's doing in Super League at the moment. He's killing it. Absolutely killing it.
He deserves it. Alrighty, that's the footy talk. Done. Now, let's talk about something that everyone's talking about, but I don't think... Okay, at the start, people weren't talking about it properly because it was like taboo.
Yeah.
Now everyone's talking openly about it and you're getting some good information about it, but there's still some stupidly dumb things I'm hearing some very smart people say about this stuff, right? And it's a topic around peptides. Are they safe? Are they not safe? Are they the right thing to do for everybody? Are they not the right thing to do for everybody? You got what they term themselves as longevity doctors. They say they are, as long as they're done correctly with the right process and the right protocols set in place.
Yep.
You got people that say don't touch them, it's poison, you don't know what you're taking. But they're the same people that will take Ozempic and Manjaro, I understand. But then you got people that are on the fence. right? And for many years, I was on the fence. I'm like, look, let me learn about it a bit more. Let me see it a bit more. Let me research it a bit more. Let me talk to the people that I trust about it, who are a lot smarter than me, and let me get their take on it. And look, for everyone that's listening, and I'm not ashamed to say this, I do use peptides. I absolutely love what BPC 157 has done for the way in which I manage my autoimmune disease. Right? I've resolved so much of my inflammation and so much of my tissue healing that needed to happen from the usage of the combination of BPC 157 and TB 500. Right? On top of that, NAD Plus for brain health, I feel like it's just next level for me. Right? The CJC 1295 or whatever it's called is what I use as well, and I really, really, really enjoy that because it's just a nice little hit of that natural growth hormone to give me a bit more of an edge in my training, right? But what people don't understand is that it's not cheating.
No, it's not.
People used to look at gear like it's cheating. I'm like, it's only cheating if they're going up against people that are on gear. If they're doing it in a federation or doing it in a sport where everyone's on the same playing field because you're all on gear, where's the cheating?
Well, the thing about with peptides that people need to understand as well is that it's very different to anabolic steroids. Like anabolic steroids, you're giving yourself an artificial dosage of a hormone that the body already naturally produces, right? Whereas with peptides are just amino acids that are sending signals to your body to do what it already does, just at a better, much more efficient rate.
The only one that's not that is retatrutide, right?
Yeah, but in saying that though, what it does do is that retatrutide being a GLP-3, it works with 3 different hormone receptors, right? So again, it's not necessarily injecting something artificial into your body to do what the body already does, but artificially. It's just signaling these receptors to work harder. Things like your glucagon, in terms of taking or utilizing your carbohydrates, right? And producing energy through those carbohydrates, but also using non-carbohydrate stores, aka your fat stores, and then metabolizing them into the bloodstream and using them as energy. So making fat burning much more efficient.
This is why things like fatty liver
improve so much.
Total cholesterol, triglycerides improve
so much.
And I guess my biggest thing for anybody who takes retatrutide, because there are some lean ladies that are like, I'm gonna start using retatrutide. I'm like, what for? Like, you don't need it. You just need to fix your food and keep building muscle, and you're fine, right? And they're like, no, I just want to lose a bit more. I'm like, but there's nothing on you to fucking lose.
Yeah, 100%.
Except muscle, which is very dangerous to lose. And if you're a lady over 40 and you're on retatrutide, like, you shouldn't be happy that you're getting skinny. That's not the goal here.
There's a difference.
The goal is getting you leaner. Yeah, cool. But you need to build, at the very least, retain muscle.
And that's the issue.
Now, on retatrutide, it's very hard to build muscle, right? Especially if you're not on gear.
The thing is that with retatrutide, it is. It is a muscle preserver, and it helps to preserve muscle mass. However, it won't preserve muscle mass if you don't give it the environment to do so. Going on with what you just said.
So to break it down a little bit more for everyone listening, when you use retatrutide, because of the fact that it does slow down what we term as the transit time from when you ingest food to when it comes out the other end, so from this process all the way down to that process, that's the transit time. Normal transit time is different for everybody. Once that's slowed down, this is why you don't get that appetite regulation. You feel fuller for longer, right? It's not that you don't have an appetite anymore. It's just that you still got your food in your system for a few more hours longer than it would usually be in your system for. So you can,
Retta and Ozempic or Mounjaro, for example.
Yeah. So look, Ozempic and Mounjaro, again, they were brought out for people with type 2 diabetes to manage blood sugar. But because of the fact that these people go from eating a whole bunch of shit to not eating a whole bunch of anything, they lose a lot of weight because they're literally not having anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But a lot of that weight loss is from muscle. It is not from fat.
Yep.
Right? Some of it's from fat, of course, but it's not all from fat. A lot of it's from muscle. So when I look at people that have been on Ozempic or even on retatrutide or even on Mounjaro, like I use retatrutide as well, right? But not for the fat loss purposes that most people use it for. But there's a lot of data and research to support the fact that retatrutide is really good for inflammation control, really good for brain health, really good for management of blood sugar. And because we have a hereditary cholesterol problem, this is why I wanted to use it, to see what it does for my cholesterol. Lo and behold, it's actually improving my cholesterol markers, right? Now, for me to be able to continue to get stronger, for me to be able to continue to keep my muscle and build some muscle, right? And you guys have seen my body transformation in the last, 2-3 years. There's a huge focus even more now on making sure I eat consistently, because of this very, very, very small dosage of retatrutide that I take, it still impacts my appetite, right? So me eating 3,000 calories used to be very easy. Now I need to consciously make sure that I fucking eat 3,000 calories every day.
Hard.
Because if I don't consciously eat, all that food noise is gone.
Yeah.
I could do 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours straight up work and not think about food at all. It was taking me off retatrutide for 2 weeks and I'm back to eating normally, which is what I like, right? So for me, when I talk to clients about this kind of stuff and they ask me about my opinion on it, I say, look, do what the fuck you like. Well, my honest opinion, you're going to follow my work with you? They say, yeah. I said, don't take retatrutide until you've done all the foundation work first.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? And the reason why I say that is because people look at retatrutide like it's another quick fix. Those individuals that talk about retatrutide as in being like a GLP-3, right? A very simple way to talk about this is if you guys have ever watched Dragon Ball Z, Ben, you got to put some Dragon Ball Z into this scene, right? If you ever watched Dragon Ball Z, and when we compare Ozempic to Mounjaro to retatrutide, Ozempic is like Goku at Kaioken, where he's like all red. Mounjaro is when he turns Super Saiyan 1. Retatrutide is when he turns Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
Right, with the long fucking hair, and he was like unstoppable, right? That's the difference between the three. This is like a level 3, receptor that is just so good at getting your body to manage your appetite, kill your food noise, take the glucose out of your bloodstream, put it into your muscle as glycogen, really focus on making sure your body can use other sources of energy really well, bring down your inflammation, allow your body to actually, use what it has in terms of the stored body fat as energy while preserving muscle.
Exactly right.
Which is like unheard of. So when you see these amazing body transformations on retatrutide, great. But realistically speaking, are we going to be on retatrutide forever? No. So what do we need to focus on? Even before, while we're on it, and even after? The lifestyle.
100%.
The nutrition. The building of muscle. Don't you dare fucking do a whole bunch of cardio and use retatrutide. You're an absolute fruit up if you do that.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like I've had actually people, either message me on via text message or DM me on Instagram, and they're like, "Hey, bro, look, I've been taking retatrutide for a few months now, and I've plateaued. I don't know why. Do I take more? What do I do? Can you help me out?" And the first thing I say to them is, "Well, what are you doing outside of retatrutide?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Well, what are you eating? What's your movement like? Are you training?" A lot of people have actually told me none of the above.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, well, this is the first issue. The fact that you're like eating once or twice a day, that's a big thing. And I say to people with retatrutide, that actually shouldn't be occurring. So either one of two things is happening. Either you have some poor quality retatrutide, or you're not injecting retatrutide and it's something else, or your dosage is way too high for your body to handle. And that's because of the fact that retatrutide isn't an appetite suppressant, right? It's not supposed to kill your appetite completely, where you're eating once a day or twice a day max, and even that 1 meal you're force feeding yourself. It shouldn't be like that. So you need to check yourself with your dosage or where you're getting your stuff from, and get a quality control check on the substance that you're taking, right?
Question.
Yep.
How do you do that?
See, this is the hard thing. Because peptides aren't FDA approved or TGA approved.
No, they're FDA approved.
Some of them are.
TGA
Not all of them.
are
Some of
fucking
them.
retarded, but yeah.
Majority of people are getting their peptides out of China through some random on WhatsApp, and they don't even know where they're coming from.
Can I say something? Have you seen some of those Chinese bodybuilders?
Have I?
Have you seen some of those Chinese bodybuilders?
Yeah.
They're fucking amazing.
Jacked. Yeah, 100%.
Because is Chinese gear really that bad if those guys are looking that good?
Well, this is the thing. Chinese bodybuilders are on steroids. right?
I get that. But is their stuff out of their labs really that bad if those guys are looking that good? You're telling me none of them are on peptides?
But
Every bodybuilder I know is on peptides.
Yeah, but that's the key thing you just said there. Labs. They know where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Your mate on WhatsApp, you got no idea who the fuck there is.
Yeah, okay.
Chong Chong Ching Chong that you've messaged on WhatsApp because you found him on Instagram. You got no idea where it's coming from, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
Have you seen their warehouse? Have you seen their lab? Do you know where their testing's coming from? Bro, everyone gets sent this document that's a Janoski, I don't even know how to say it, testing one. Because people don't realize it is so easy to make a fake document these days. So easy to make a fake document these days.
How can you guarantee?
You can't. You can't. You're just taking a gamble. Okay. The reason why I know this is because 2 weeks ago, someone that I know was bedridden for 5 days, vomiting their absolute guts out from a retatrutide vial they got from some bloke that's in China that has a Chinese warehouse. They don't know what the fuck they took.
But how many units did they take?
10.
From a 20 meg?
From a 20 meg. 10.
10 units?
10
so
units.
0.1
of a mil.
And they vomited for 5 days?
5 days straight bedridden.
Oh, wow.
Don't ask me what that was that they injected, right? So this is why I say to people, you have to be very careful where you're getting it from. The peptide isn't the issue. Where you're getting it from is the issue.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
So, let me just, one of the things I want to say, there are that many people that we know that have used retatrutide, and firstly, I want to just preface that this is just conversation. We are not prescribing anything.
Yeah, this is
We're
like,
not giving any medical advice. I feel like I have to say that because one of you fucking Karens is going to sit there and try to say that.
Yeah, this like disclaimer alert. There's no. This is just
this is conversation between two brothers.
Conversation, no medical advice.
If you don't want to hear about peptides, stop listening.
Yeah, hard out.
I just have to say that because if we don't, some Karen's going to try to sue us.
Badly.
Because she's going to take 5 meals of fucking retatrutide tomorrow and say that we told her to.
Yeah, hard out.
Because she heard it on the podcast. Anyway, so a lot of the stories that I hear about people that take retatrutide is they take 10 units, 20 units, or 0.1 or 0.2 or 0.3 or 0.4, right, of a meal, and they say nothing.
Yeah.
They just don't eat, right? And they don't see any results. They don't lose any weight. They haven't lost any body fat.
Yeah.
And I always say to them, well, have you checked your bloods? Right? There's one person in particular I'm thinking about. Her bloods came back normal, but she's got very, very high cortisol. Doesn't sleep well. Inflammation's through the roof.
Yep.
Won't do anything else about it.
Yep.
Won't take the omega-3s that I recommend to her. Won't test for inflammation. Won't test for omega-3 to 6 balance. I don't do that kind of stuff. I don't want that kind of stuff. Okay, so you think retatrutide is going to fix your problem? It's not. What people need to understand is that retatrutide will never fix, is not the answer, to a poor foundation of health.
It's not a magic pill, no.
It's not. But the problem is it's been painted as one from these fuckwits on social media that retatrutide is such an amazing peptide to use, it's going to solve all your problems. It's actually not. If anything, it could make you worse. It could make you worse. Because 100%. What happens when it doesn't work, you have no food noise, you don't eat anymore, but it doesn't work, and then what happens? You go back to having the food noise and you go back to eating a whole bunch of shit because you got no self-control.
Or even worse, your body just completely deteriorates all its muscle mass and is using all your muscle mass for energy, and then you get sick. Right?
So, for everyone listening, what do you do?
So,
if you want to, people are going to want to use it regardless of whether we say...
Yeah, 100%.
So, for those people that just want to do it, and because they want that extra kick or they want to accelerate their results, whatever it might be, what would you say? You give your take, I'll give my take. What's step one to do before you've even contemplated injecting yourself with retatrutide? What should you have down pat for a good 3 to 6 months first?
Yeah, look, the first thing I'm going to say is know where you're getting it from. It's the first thing I'm going to say with everything. Even if you're talking about steroids, even if you're talking about, omega-3s, whatever, you need to know where you're getting it from. 100%. Because at the end of the day, you're getting a vial of powder given to you that has, you don't know what's in it or where it's come from. So, you need to know. Right, that's step one before anything. Step two, you need to have the basics down pat. And what I mean by the basics is that you need to be eating a well-balanced diet, right? That's high protein. And if we're talking specifically retatrutide, is moderate carb based. And that's because retatrutide loves carbohydrates, and all the studies show that it works better and more efficient when you have enough carbohydrates coming into your body on a daily basis.
Okay, so
Right.
what do you do with fats?
Fats just fats. They just fill in the gaps.
So you minimize fats.
You
right?
just see, you just minimize fats.
So
They
you
fill in the
get fats
gaps.
from either what? From what? Like the red meat you have?
Yeah, the red
Don't
meat
add
that you
anything
have,
else on.
like the oil that you might cook in, the olive oil that you might
Because
cook
have you
in.
heard of some of the stories of people that when they start having eggs,
Yep.
like when they're on Retreatide and they're eating eggs, before Retreatide they were fine.
Yep.
Eating eggs, they start getting gassy, sore stomach.
Well, this is because they're not combining it with anything else.
What do you mean?
Like, so for example,
But say that, for example, they're doing eggs on toast.
yeah, well then my question would be, it was the first time that they ate eggs okay, even though they were on Retreatide, or was it a combination of them eating eggs on toast, but then not eating anything else for the rest of the day, and then having like, you know, maybe a second meal at dinner, and then you've done that for a few days, but then you've just noticed after 3-4 days,
No,
oh, fuck,
so what
after
I've
I
been
eat
told,
eggs,
what I've been told is that they're gassy and they've got a sore stomach and they have no appetite because they're just gassing, got a sore stomach.
well then obviously it's their digestion, so they need to increase their fiber intake.
So you reckon?
Or the one thing that
'Cause
many
everything else they feel fine
people,
with, it's just eggs that is the problem for them.
many people haven't spoken about as well, is the fact that they're not hydrating properly.
4 liters of water a day, right?
Like, you need more than the recommended 2.5 liters. If you're on
Yeah.
Retreatide, like, I'm talking almost double the amount of water that you're drinking.
I have had to pump 4 liters of water a
Right.
day every day.
Hydration is so important with Retreatide, like ridiculously important, and people aren't even speaking about it.
Why?
Just because of the fact that obviously once you have Retreatide, and it does signal these 3 different hormone receptors,
Yeah.
naturally when your digestion slows down,
Yeah.
right, because there's no food noise,
Uh-huh.
and we all know hydration specifically works in tune with your digestion,
Yeah.
right, your body naturally is going to become dehydrated. So you need
So
water.
pause.
Yeah.
Why does it become dehydrated?
Why, when you're on Retreatide, you become dehydrated? Because you've got no food noise. So
yeah,
you're not eating, you're not drinking. That food noise also affects your brain to
but-
tell
so
you.
because you're having less, your body's gonna be okay.
Yeah, because you're having less food, right, in general, and you have no food noise going on whatsoever.
There's no reminder to do
There's
certain
exactly
things,
right.
yeah.
Just as there's no reminder to eat food,
there's no reminder to drink.
there's no reminder to drink
Okay.
also as well, right?
Yeah.
So you're naturally going to become dehydrated, like even after one day, right?
So why 4 liters though? Why just not focus on having 2.5?
Because of the fact of your digestion slows down more so compared to the normal rate in which your digestion would function, right?
So the absorption
so-
of stuff is slower.
A lot slower.
Yeah.
So you need more hydration in your cells to promote your body of breaking down the food that you're eating, but allowing that food to flow through your digestive tract, your intestines.
Yeah,
and
water
obviously
helps.
come out,
Water helps
right?
with your digestion. Yeah.
So you need that a lot, and
Okay.
the reason why we're saying, you know, don't get me wrong, 4 liters might be a bit much for some. 3 liters.
Well, those
Right.
individuals I'm saying 4 liters for, they're exercising, so
Yeah,
they're
yeah,
sweating a lot
exactly
too,
right.
right?
And so it's something that people don't speak about a lot with the hydration side of it. In terms of the actual eggs themselves, it just might be because of the fact that, it's just eggs are very high in fat.
Do you know as well that on Retreatide that it actually changes over time? It can change the way in which your body likes certain things or responds to certain things. Like for example, a lot of people I know don't like drinking coffee anymore.
Can I tell you why?
Yeah.
So Retreatide will naturally extend the half-life of caffeine.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so don't
Right.
touch caffeine after like 11.
Yeah, literally. But the reason why is because Retreatide will naturally help with increasing energy, right?
It makes you more sensitive to caffeine.
Exactly right, and that's the reason why people are starting to get turned off the caffeine,
Coffee,
because they're
yeah.
starting to feel anxious and jittery off it because it's so much more sensitive to
So
it.
people that I know that used to drink coffee, don't
They've
drink
like cut it out, yeah,
just have
completely.
green tea now.
Yeah, 100%.
Right, even
Or
if I have a second coffee, I literally feel like I want to vomit.
yeah, 100%, man. So
I that was my second coffee now, and I'm like, I don't know why I did that.
yeah, bro, 100%. So yeah, going back to what we were saying, you know, you need to have those basic foundations set.
Right, so the foundation
Eat well,
3 to
train.
6 months prior to even taking any kind of peptide. Eat well 4 to 5 times a day. Stay consistent with that. Not perfect, but consistent.
Yep.
Train at least 3 to 4 times a week with weights.
100%.
Get at least 8 to 10,000 steps in a day. This sounds like the basic stuff to do for just healthy living.
100%, bro.
So this goes to show, always, you can never, ever, ever out supplement, out peptide, out whatever.
You can't.
You can't do anything.
You really can't.
Your body can never be able to work as best as you want it to work or produce even better results if you have not done the basics well.
There is only one thing on this planet that will get you a result without doing anything and literally just sitting down.
Bruh.
No, steroids.
Oh,
Steroids
without doing anything?
Without doing
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Steroids are the only
Not
thing.
really, sorry.
No. Studies have shown, and they did an experiment, a 12-week study.
Oh, we're not looking at exogenous results though. Sorry,
No.
results.
But that's the whole point. People think that taking a peptide like retatrutide and actually sitting down and doing nothing is going to get them the result they want. That's the conversations I'm having with people.
Stupidity.
Right? And that's what I'm trying to say. There's only one
Absolute
thing in this
stupidity.
world, and even though it's not even recommended, but there's only one thing in this world that can get you a result. Even though it's tiny, a result
And
is an
that's key.
anabolic steroid, right? However, if you want to get a good result, again, I'm an advocate for peptides. I like them. I like them as a supplement. And I term them as a supplement because that's what they are, right? They should be used in conjunction with the basic foundations of how the human body works.
This is not medical advice.
Right? Again, yeah, not medical advice at all. I'm just talking about, experimentation on myself, right? If you want to get a good result with using peptides, before you even think about what the word peptide means, nail the basics within your own body, these lifestyle habits that you need to have.
Yeah.
Like training, for example. People are taking retatrutide and not even training at all, and they're withering away.
Fucking
They're
stupid.
they're becoming skinny fat.
But it
right?
burns me. They're like, oh, what for? I'm losing weight. I'm like, yeah, but you're losing muscle, and that's going to cause
But
you
then
to
they
be
get to a
unhealthy when you
point
get
where they
older.
feel like absolute crap, and they're like, bro, why I can't sleep, right? I have no energy, and I'm like, how much weight have you lost? Oh, I've lost almost 10 kilos. How long's it been? Almost a full month. I'm like, so you've lost 10 kilos in almost a month, but you feel like absolute dog shit. Yeah, you're losing muscle.
Because I lost 10 kilos. It took me like 2 years.
Yeah.
That's how slow my change was. People go, 2 years. I'm like, yeah, but you don't understand what I did in 2 years.
100%.
Internally first.
Yeah.
So that externally I can look and feel how I look and feel right now.
And when we really think about it, it's 2 years actually a very long time. It's not.
Not really though. Like I didn't focus on weight loss or fat loss. Like I obviously wanted to get leaner because I didn't like the fact that I had that unwanted body fat. But my health was so shit. Bro.
Yeah, man.
Like my inflammation on my body was causing me to have 4 proper anxiety attacks at night.
Yeah.
Like it was a joke. I was tired but wired to the nth degree.
Yeah.
Right? And so for me I was like, something's gotta change. So I did what I did with my inflammation testing and then my supplement protocol, but everything I did was around my lifestyle. Once I conquered that for 12 months, I stayed consistent with that for 12 months.
Yeah, man.
Then I had the conversation with you about peptides, and I had a conversation with a few other guys about peptides. Then I started with BPC, and I did that for 12 months.
Yeah.
Right? And because I had it with TB500, it really helped with my inflammation as well.
Yeah.
Right? And that's all I really wanted to get under control because I knew my body could do everything
And then
else
everything
better
responded
once my
from there.
inflammation was under control.
100%.
So that's how it was for me. Then I got a little bit excited and started to throw a few things on. But did I
Yeah.
need them? No. Right? But everyone's like, oh, you cheating. Bro, work as hard as me. Come.
And just so people know as well, straight out, peptides have been, a lot of the peptides that we're talking about in this day and age, they're not new. They've been studied since like the 1960s, 1970s, right?
The first peptide was brought out in the 1920s. You know what it was?
What?
Insulin.
There you go.
Right? 1920s, bro.
Yeah.
So don't
So,
tell
like,
me this is still cheating. It's not.
that, bro,
And the
they've
ones
been
that talk
studied
like
for
that,
so
I'm
long.
sorry, the ones that talk like that are the ones that are uneducated. Like
Yeah.
I've got family members that go, it's poison. I'm like, but you have fucking 2 glasses of scotch or a bottle of scotch on a weekend.
Yeah.
You want to talk to me about poison?
You're drinking methylated
Shut
spirits.
the fuck up, bro. Like, don't talk to me about poison when you've been sitting there smashing your scotch and your udder for God knows how long. You want to talk to me about poison?
Yeah, I know.
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
Right? They act like they know better because there's something that's different and it's actually going to get people to be better.
Yeah.
Right? And this is going on a tangent, but I'll bring it back. Don't talk about things you don't know about.
100%.
Those uneducated people that talk about stuff and they get defensive, it's like, why are you so defensive over a peptide? Like, do you know what you're getting defensive about? Like, do you know what you're getting angry about? Is it the peptide or is it about the fact that people are moving forward and you're not? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, man. So, like, they're not new. They've been around for ages. We're talking like over 100 years now.
So
right?
what are the other ones? So we've done a whole bunch of stuff on retatrutide. What about BPC 157? There was one, and I've unfollowed her because she fucking annoyed the shit out of me when she said this. I'm not going to mention her name. She's a doctor, a very smart lady, really big on Alzheimer's disease, right? And that's what I respected her for. Then she goes on a podcast, talks about BPC 157, and how do you know it's not going to grow your cancer cells? And I was like, what?
Because it's not.
I was like, what are you even talking about?
BPC 157 has been around since 1985.
But I said, I'm watching this podcast with this woman. I'm looking at myself going, what is she even talking about? And in the same breath, she's talking about how good the COVID jab is. And I was like, you're a fucking fruit.
Yeah, no, she's paid
I was
off.
like, you are actually a fruit.
She's been paid off. The government's got to her.
I unfollowed her, like completely unfollowed her, right? Because I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Not one research paper has supported anything that she said about the fact that BPC 157 could cause your cancer cells to grow. The only thing that causes cells to grow and multiply more and more is what?
Stress.
Anything that's growth hormone based.
Oh yeah.
Right? Not BPC 157. All that's ever been shown to do is, and it stands for body connective, BPC, body protection. Oh my gosh, I got a bloody mind blank. I don't know, I've lost it, but I'll find it. It'll come to me in the next 10 minutes. Anyway, all that's been shown to do is if you have a site that's sore, like you got tendon elbow, you got something to shoulders, hip problems, injecting a site. It helps that site heal faster. That's literally it.
Well,
where she's getting off on saying that could potentially make cancer cells grow, I was like, where are you going, bro?
With BPC 157, what it naturally does is decrease inflammation levels, right? And then through that, they found that it actually helps with the repair of your gut health, specifically, right? So, yeah, I don't know where she's coming from when she says that BPC 157 grows cancer cells, because there is not one study that I've seen that has done that at all.
Body protection compound.
There you go.
Fuck, it was donated.
Yeah, there's not one study that I've seen, and trust me when I say I've looked into a lot of this stuff, there's not one study I've seen of BPC increasing the growth of cancer cells at all.
What BPC 157 was originally brought in to do was help people with autoimmune diseases.
That's literally what it was, for the gut health purposes.
Because of what it does with the healing
the gut
and resolving leaky gut syndrome.
Right. Now, in saying that, when we talk about BPC 157, everyone knows because it's always combined with the compound TB500. I'm not going to say the name. I always get this name wrong.
Don't worry about it. Just look up TB500 yourself.
TB500 is pretty much
it's the anti-inflammatory.
It's a creation based on what we naturally have, which is pretty much they call it TB4, right? And what it does, it's the healing of joints, tendons, ligaments, and muscle. Right, and they use it for injury repair. So when they combine BPC 157 and TB500 together, they found, because of the inflammatory properties that BPC 157 has and the gut healing properties that it has, anti-inflammatory properties and the gut healing properties that it has, combined with the healing properties of joints, muscles, ligaments, tendons.
One is focused on anti-inflammation, the other is focused on tissue repair.
Exactly right. And now what happens when you have an injury?
Both, yeah.
When you have an injury, inflammation occurs. The BPC 157 brings that inflammation down. The TB500 can now get into there and start healing the injury.
That's the beautiful thing about it, yeah.
That's pretty much a very, very, very simplified.
The amount of doctors that were prescribing this, like my friends were doing it way before even I touched it.
I always say to everyone,
I was like, what is that?
2013, the Cronulla Sharks got done for peptides. What peptide were they using?
BPC 157.
And TB500. That's why they were being able to heal so fast in between games.
Look, I'm sorry to say
and play so well.
I'm sorry to say this as well. That did not make them superhuman, though.
No, it didn't make them superhuman at all.
The only reason why they got buses is because it was against the rules. If it wasn't against the rules, no one would say a single word. But a lot of the studies have also looked at the psychological and the placebo effects. Sorry, not placebo. The psychological effects of when you know you're taking a certain peptide and what you feel you're actually able to do.
Yeah.
So let me give an example. The confidence that people get when they take gear, right?
Through the roof.
It builds their confidence up so they will do what? Train harder. Perform better. Focus on their food better. All these kinds of, because they're taking gear, they want to make the most of it. Same thing with peptides. You're taking peptides, they want to make the most of it.
Yeah.
So is it the peptides that was the game changer, or their mental response
I feel like
to the peptides, which made them focus more on their training, their recovery, and their performance?
Honestly, 70% mental. Yeah. 30% peptide.
No, I reckon more mental. 90% mental, 10% peptides. Yeah. I've known people that take peptides and get fucking nowhere because they're mentally not in the game.
Yeah, that's true. No, that's
I've known guys that take gear and get nowhere because they're mentally not in the game.
That's actually true.
So you need to understand something. And everyone in this needs to understand this. your gear, your peptides only work as well as it can work if you provide the environment for them to flourish in.
Yeah.
And the environment is your lifestyle, like we mentioned before.
That's the biggest thing that we
right?
always talk about.
Now, there's one other peptide I want to talk about before we round up this episode, because we're almost going for an hour now. The one other peptide that a lot of people are talking about is GHKCU, right?
The beautician peptide.
The copper peptide.
I call it the beautician peptide.
I call it the pretty peptide,
Yeah.
right? A lot of them are talking about it now, about the fact that it can actually help your hair grow back.
Yep.
No need to take all this other medication. No need to go to fucking Turkey and get the hair transplant done. Tell me about it. I don't know much about it. I know you know a lot about it. Tell me about it.
So GHKCU, like you said, it's a copper peptide, and pretty much, yeah, it's got amazing. I call it the beautician peptide because of the amazing benefits it has on hair, skin, nails, right? And the reason why is because
my receding hairline can get fixed if I take GHKCU.
Well, I don't know if it will fix a receding hairline. What I do know though, it will block DHT and actually force hair follicles to regrow.
Like dead ones or ones
Like
that
dead
are
ones.
So,
Because it blocks DHT.
So, like, can I give it a crack?
100% you can.
Because this fucks with my head
definitely,
a lot, bro.
definitely. GHKCU is amazing as well. And again, this isn't medical advice whatsoever. It's just what I've seen for eczema. And what it's done to heal people of the eczema. I have someone that's on it at the moment, and 3 months later, her eczema's completely gone.
But, okay, let me ask you a question, because I have my own way to deal with eczema.
No, 100%.
But let me ask you a question. What else was she doing, though?
Nothing.
Food?
Just
Lifestyle?
oh yeah, like it's just the same stuff.
Eliminating the crap
Nah,
stuff she
just
was doing.
same stuff that she's been doing.
Sleeping better?
Same stuff that she's been doing.
Would it be fair to say that peptide then has an anti-inflammation protocol?
Yeah,
to
it does.
Yeah, okay.
It does.
Inflammation. Fix your inflammation, team.
What it does is, well, actually, you know what? Let me say that again. Obviously, she was eating. She's always been eating good, but she was eating just that bit better. I think it goes back to what you said with the mental, because she was taking it. She wanted to make the most of it. And so I think there were a few more aspects of her life that became better as well.
Whoever she got the peptides from, they must have told her that it might help.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? So one of the things you need to understand though is that again, these things only work unless you put the work in.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Look,
Definitely.
I'm a big fan of them. I will do them for as long as I can afford them.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that TJ doesn't get their hands on them anytime soon.
Well, the thing is that like they shouldn't be expensive either. So like for example, from what I've been told,
Don't even go there with me, because as soon as TJ approves it, Big Pharma's going to get their hands on it, and then we're all fucked.
yeah. From what I've been
Look how
told,
expensive Ozempic is right now.
well, you know what? This is what I was gonna say. I actually had no idea that Ozempic was like $650-700 a month,
Yes, it's a joke.
and you can get a vial of Retatrutide for $180.
It's a joke. It's
You know what I mean?
actually a joke, Alex. It's so bad. Like, there's that many longevity doctors that say, look, take like some people who are obese and struggling with blood sugar and type 2 diabetic, when they take that kind of stuff, it's actually good for them. But the problem is, like, it's so expensive. There's not a manageable way to go about
Nah,
it.
bro, $700 a month for that? No way.
But then you think about this, the long-lasting negative effects that follow. If you take 1 month of it, you've ruined your body. You've changed your body, how your body works for a month.
Well, I think
to
there's still.
Then to only like go back to the way it was the next month if you can't afford to get it
Yeah.
again.
Aren't they still going through the is it called a class action?
Ozempic, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's well publicized because of all the problems that it's caused.
Yeah.
It's what happens when you stop the body from doing what it's naturally made to do. So I tell people, stop being like a dickhead.
Badly.
That's it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, team. That was a long episode.
That was a great episode, by the way.
It was. I hope you guys liked it. Again, none of what we said was medical advice. It's just research that we've done to really focus on making sure we can give you guys some kind of
100%.
perspective.
Look,
Right?
at the end of the day, if you guys want to just chat about peptides or anything in that world, hit us up. More than happy to chat about it. It's an open discussion, open table. We don't shy away from things like this. It's not taboo when it comes to things like this for us. If you want to have an open conversation because it's something that you're thinking about or you want more info on, we can just chat to you about it, point you in the right direction, and go from there.
Again, we don't give medical advice. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Have a fantastic day. Don't forget, like and subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify.